welcome back to No Bubble Podcast in episode 137. You're joined by me, George, and as always, Connor. He's back, as always.
Better than ever.
Yeah.
Better than ever.
Week has passed in lockdown, or day, I don't know, or year. It's been a very long time.
Eternity.
It feels it, man.
Since we've seen the outside world, probably.
Oh, since we've seen each other even from a distance, it's like.
I know, right? I mean, you're not even 2 meters away from me now, but in reality, you're miles away from me.
I know. It's literally.
You're all the way down.
It's all one day soon we should come back. Hopefully.
Come back, yeah. No.
It's getting boring now, man. It really is.
It is. It's repetitive. It's just There's nothing to talk about with anyone. I'm glad. Like I just said to you off camera, I'm not 100% for reasons I won't get onto, you nosy people. But I need something to do like this. I need something to do like this. It's the only thing. It's another thing apart from WandaVision I look forward to.
Oh.
The only thing I do is work, this, and WandaVision. That's my life at the minute.
And it was Dark Dimension, but you finished that now. So what are you going to do with your Saturdays for the 20 minutes? Let's do it again for the next few months.
Exactly, all in one go. You can in one go. Again, playlist in the link below or somewhere on the channel.
Getting good at
somewhere. No, now you can binge it. Yeah, do it. It'd help me out. you can ignore my vlogs. Now you can binge it. It makes so much more sense.
If they haven't done a condensed whole episode, have they? The whole thing. Have they just left it in parts?
No, not it's just individual parts. Yeah, they've not done a full upload.
Like an hour and a half or whatever it is. This is one whole.
I did see an animated movie though, but not by Pharos. A channel, I think, was season 26B. I don't know if they're another group of people, if it's just a fan account, but it is Lost in a Dark Dimension, an animated movie. It's nearly 2 hours. Haven't seen it, but it's a movie. I'm assuming of the same thing.
If anyone can watch it, you can. You're the Dark Dimension guy.
I should really. I should.
Imagine that's the thing. You release loads of videos of you on camera, but they're only about the Dark Dimension.
I know. Well, that could be the gimmick. That would be the gimmick.
And you explain why the Pharos Features one is the best because it's very well made. I listened to part 3.
Yeah.
And I'm probably gonna do part 4 tomorrow because I'm off, but I do a bit of overtime in the morning, so I'll probably come back, listen to that while I'm editing this or whatever, and give that a final listen. Then we can maybe talk about our thoughts together.
Combined. They'll merge. The hybrid.
Oh fuck, man! I was thinking about rewatching series 9, but then I remembered I don't hate myself that much.
No.
So I started watching series 10.
I think part. Oh yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, I don't blame you for season 10. Great season.
It's God, fuck that. We can't. I'm not gonna get distracted by Moffat's writing again. I can't. I can't. There's some pop culture stuff that happened in the past week. We'll talk about that, and then obviously what you're all here for, our review of Primeval.
The never-ending mindfuck. Mindfuck that is WandaVision.
WandaVision episode 6. We're only 3 away now, so we're still aiming to live stream. If you want to watch the finale with us, come along.
Yes.
We're only 2 weeks away. We're gonna see how long we can do that.
By the time this comes out, it'll be less than. It'll be
yeah, it'll be less than 2 weeks or something.
Yeah, 14 days is. Be what the fuck?
And if that goes well,
crazy.
Maybe we'll watch something else.
The premiere of Falcon Winter Soldier.
We could do.
Just shoving that as an idea, don't know. Premiere that.
Yeah. Want Black Widow on Premiere Access if that ever happens. Snyder Cut would be a good idea if we had HBO Max.
Well, that's another thing this week. It's not. Well, I'd say it's official, but it's not been confirmed by HBO themselves. But we're supposedly getting that second half of this year.
Yeah.
But again, this is more August to September-y. It got slated Middle East, Asia, basically the other continent that in Europe was mentioned. But again, that's not until August or September, like second half of the year. So you're telling me that we, as legal people, of course, because we don't use VPNs and dodgy websites, we have to wait another like 6 months in order to watch like one of the biggest movies of this year.
One of the only.
I don't know.
I think people are going to watch that because
it is literally the only movie. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the trailer on that note?
What and Godzilla versus Kong? Well, yeah. Well, Black Suit Superman's a thing. He was the thumbnail. He's a thing, and he actually is real this time. Again, I cannot wait to watch Justice League as it was anyway, to then really compare the two. I can't remember the order of the trailer. I remember the images, and there's a lot of dialogue from. I remember there's loads of dialogue from Man of Steel and Batman v Superman that sort of like narrated throughout the beginning. Mm-hmm. I think it's like Jeremy Irons is sort of peeking lines and stuff.
Definitely in it.
Darkseid is definitely in it, and he looks cool. Steppenwolf actually looks intimidating now.
They both look very video gamey though.
They did. No. Well, Steppenwolf looks very like PS1.
Yeah, I'm
he
not
looks
saying
weird
like
in the other
great,
one.
OG Justice League, but like he looks
the other one.
more like a Shadow of Mordor character.
Yeah, very
DLC.
Yeah, like you say, CGI. Yeah, no, CGI 100%.
Well, like,
there's no person in that.
It's a bit unfair because obviously, like, it's a bit unfair to compare these because they're meant to be going for different things. But if you compare Darkseid to Thanos, like the tech, like as much as Thanos is an entirely CGI motion capture of Josh Brolin, so it's like based on real movements, but it is essentially a CGI character. The textures and everything on it, like he looks like you can touch him, whereas Darkseid just looks like...
he looks believable, yeah. He looks like he's been sucked into the film. Yeah, like even if you did a WandaVision and he walked into the TV, like you'd be like he's part of the background. Like you say, he's not there. Whereas Thanos, the textures and everything, he looks lifelike. So yeah, 100%, 100%. But no, Darkseid's there. Steppenwolf looks better. Superman's doing his weird like pose. I think it's from Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
I think that's when he died.
Yeah.
Died.
So that's from that. But is that an original shot or a deleted thing from that? Because I don't remember seeing that specific angle of it.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows? I don't think it's original. I don't think it's from that movie. Yeah, I think it might have been a reshoot, maybe.
Some of the moustache money.
He still doesn't have his moustache. He still doesn't have his moustache. It's the only thing.
The point?
And the mullet. He don't have a mullet either.
I don't think Warner Brothers are that brave, really, are they? Yeah. So, like you said, we got Black Suit Superman. We saw bits of Ray Fisher actually being Ray Fisher.
Yeah, Cyborg. I was going to say, Cyborg actually is involved in this movie now, and he is a mother box, essentially. He sort of touches one and you sort of see him in his sort of college jersey, football jersey, sort of like them in the Infinity Stone. You know, when like young Gamora is in like the orange weld thing, that Soul Stone thing. It's essentially that, but not orange. Cyborg is in the mother box for a little bit. Cyborg is like messing around with a mother box. But it's one of these where you see so many shots and it's just bang, bang, bang. It's not, you can't really focus on the shots because it's that sort of trailer.
Yeah.
It's just bang, 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 bang. I swear you sing the Flash as well for a little bit.
Yeah, you see bits.
I think.
Yeah.
See, part of me even just wants to look it up again because I can't remember. It's because again, it's just bang, 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 bang.
And like sort of try and spot the bits from the original movie. So like the sword.
The original, exactly.
Diana's hand by Flash. Bits of the nightmare sequence from
yes, Batman dressed up. Yeah, Batman's in his garb. I've actually got the trailer, but obviously muted for reasons, so I can actually tell you exactly what's happening.
Yeah, go for it. The Joker's in at the end.
Yeah, so yeah, that's the cool thing. Yeah, but then I even read he's part of the team. I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far. You see shots of Themyscira. Yeah, that's fair mascara. Wonder Woman's Women Land.
Amazonians.
Yeah, Mother Box. Wonder Woman's inside a temple, and she looks at a mirror of Darkseid, and then it cuts to Darkseid in his throne room, and there's Steppenwolf looking better, and there's horses. There's Wonder Woman people. There's Ben Affleck with a beard. There's see, that's what I mean. There's so much is happening. There's a building exploding. Aquaman's in underwater fighting someone with his golden trident. Cyborg, Flash. Oh my god, what? Oh, Batmobile. I think Wonder Woman has a fight with Steppenwolf, whereas I think in the other cut, the original Joss Whedon perverted cut,
Oh dear.
it's not really I'm doing it on you. He's not really a fight. I think it was just
a scuffle.
Steppenwolf sort of overpowering Wonder Woman, just went, and you just sort of went, out of my way, woman. Whereas in this, it looks more like a fight. I think that's one of the things that was reshot differently.
From that. And putting scenes.
Lois Lane, Darkseid, Superman in the weird. She was just on screen just now. Yeah.
Is there any new stuff that that she would have done?
It was just all it was just a shot of her looking up, assuming at the Daily Planet. It was just her going, Cyborg in the thing. He's like, "Don't hurt me." Aquaman stopping a wave of water. Flash saving Iris. That's the thing. That was new. Flash and Iris get a thing together in it. Yeah. Got just disappeared. Yeah. Superman doing his Man of Steel, sort of posing on the ground. He's about to take off.
That looked like a reuse.
Flash visiting his dad in prison.
Yeah, because we never saw that.
He sort of held his hand.
You never really saw that?
No, we didn't. No, I'm pretty sure we didn't.
No.
Again, this is like a 4-year-old movie, so I can't even remember what happened in that other movie. But there was a lot cut out. No, I kind of don't. I just remember that being the most average experience of my life.
Especially coming off the back of comparing it again, Avengers. It's like Avengers 1 to that. It's like there's no contest. But the unfortunate events like that happened to Zack Snyder and his wife, like losing their daughter, like it's horrible. So obviously they had to step away, but then it has to carry on. And the fact that it originally was 2 movies, then like we want it as one. Like it's not because it was part 1 and 2. That's what it was announced as, wasn't it? And then.
And in the studio, we're like, no, we've got to meet a deadline. It's got to be this year. It's got to be one movie.
Do this one, and then maybe we'll get a sequel. But it's like, so he had 2 movies worth of stuff to cram into one, and then it's I don't know, but it's become.
Well, that's why it's now 4 hours.
I'm just not interested.
I'll be glad to get it done with.
Oh yeah, we'll have to watch it to talk about it, but I'm so unenthusiastic. I'm just like, I don't care. Like the movie was okay-ish the first time.
Okay, from what I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to fucking.
The first and only time for me. Yeah. the first and only time.
And this one is just become such a weird ego trip that sort of said like, well, if you don't like a movie, we'll just put out a different version it was definitely the original version of this movie on a streaming service that not everyone in the world can see it on, but it costs more money and it's just fucking pointless. I don't know. I'm kind of against it. Not against it. I don't care. I'm indifferent. I hope everyone that campaigned for it gets what they want out of it, because it'd be really stupid if you wasted 4 years of your life campaigning for something that was
to get nothing.
And the fact it's not
at the moment, I don't. Exactly. At the moment, I don't think there's going to be anything more coming after this. This is just Snyder's one movie done and done. I think he said in an interview recently on some podcast, like Warner Brothers aren't giving him any more chances to do anything more. I think it's one movie.
This is his victory lap.
I think he's kind of done with.
Because even he's kind of done with DCU, like if you get a Justice League sequel, it'll be to what we know it as. It won't be to this exclusive fucking version of it. It will be hopefully with Shazam.
Oh, hello.
And all those people.
Oh, there you go.
Hello. Can you see me?
No, you just froze for a minute, so yeah. No, you just froze, that was all, sorry.
Sorry.
No, you're frozen now. Like, what are you doing, George? You're frozen now.
Sorry. Can you see me?
Yeah, you're fine now. Sorry.
Cool.
Sorry, darling.
No worries. like if the way that the DCU then evolved past it, it's just like right, we're just going to make individual movies, and maybe down the line we'll dot them together again because they're doing all these weird villain things that are great, like fucking Mr. Mind and all that shit. So any sequel we get's going to be like to the OG version, and or to what the DCU tone is at that point, like evolving. So I don't know. It seems a bit stupid for them to never do a Justice League sequel, but I just don't ever see them, if they're not making a follow up to this,
going back to it. Yeah, yeah.
Just
By the time DC even get in a position where they think, you know what, let's do a second for real, Marvel will be on phase 10, and then we'll get the Young Avengers, we'll get the Defenders, but done right this time. We'll get everything. Like Marvel will be like 10 steps ahead. You know.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I don't know.
What did you
DC just went the opposite way. They just
Jared
tried.
Leto in it.
Sorry, well. Jared Leto. I mean, he looks like the Joker now. He's not quite Heath Ledger. I don't know. He looks more normal, put it that way. But I don't know. I like the fact they quoted the "We live in a society" meme. I thought that was quite funny and interesting. But other than that, I don't think, oh my god, it's Jared Leto. I think he's a lucky fucker that's been given a second chance, if anything, because of this whole situation. But I'm not going to go into it thinking, oh my god, Jared Leto's going to get like justice and redemption. Like, it's not really a Joker movie. It's just he's a part in it. And whereas we looked at the screenshot last week and it looked like he was in like a prison ward, like he was going to be the one scene. So maybe he'll be in 2 scenes. I don't know. Jared Leto, from what I've seen in most of his movies, he's in these movies for about half an hour and he gets killed off. So I won't go into this thinking Joker will be the main attraction for sure. He'll die or something. It wouldn't surprise me. Jared Leto does that a lot in his films. He literally is in it for a bit and he fucks off. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's it. I don't feel like he's going to be the main thing in it.
The main deal. No.
I don't know. Am I fast? Nah. Not really. I'll watch it for fucking reasons that we do this. But apart from that, not really bothered. Where is it? We got an official sort of look at Sonic the Hedgehog 2. We know that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Tails.
Yeah.
The color of the 2 is tails, and it has like 2 tails. Due for release.
Yeah.
In April 8th.
It's only like June 20. Oh, April. I was gonna say June the 4th, but all right, April.
Just guessing, pressing and guessing. Yep. Yes, that's the thing. I enjoyed the first one. The second one could be fun, but it's probably just going to be another Johnny Kids movie. As long as, like we said before, Jim Carrey going full ham on it, then that's good, right?
Speaking of Jim Carrey, we're going to talk about WandaVision and certain people later on, but I saw a thread last night, and you know what? I was sitting there going, well, I didn't know, I did tag you in it, but Evan Peters as Ace Ventura Jr., like, what would be your thoughts on that if they were to do?
Yeah, I mean, they look similar.
I mean,
if they did an Ace Ventura,
yeah.
I don't think Jim Carrey would do another one, so it makes sense to kind of go down that route. But like you were saying, like you and Rob were saying, like it's going to be hard to have that level of comedy in it for a generation that is so offended by
abused easily. Yeah,
like whereas like stuff in that movie is never meant to be taken that way, and stuff like with a lot of movies, but you know it's very of the time, and I think people wouldn't get that style of humour now. Like this generation wouldn't sort of appreciate like him coming out of a rhino's ass, then it's a fake rhino. I don't think that gels with this audience. But like with the Bill and Ted,
freaking animal rights will be complaining. Yeah. I think for Evan Peters' sake, if something like that came his way, I think not to say boost his career, but I think it would. Like American Horror Story, I do want to get around to, and I understand he's in all the seasons, but that show, although it's an anthology, they do a lot of the same cast people, but as different characters and different stories. So he's in like all 10 seasons, I think
there's
as
only
different
one
people.
season he's not in.
Okay.
But he is back in it, I believe. But that show is that's gone on for way too long.
Did it not end? I thought the last one. I say they're on season 10. I thought that was the last season.
No, they're on like season 14 or something, I think.
14? Oh, fuck me.
I don't know. It just keeps going. It was good at the beginning, and now it's just like, stop flogging a dead horse.
Yeah,
not really. All of the American Horror Story fans, but I'm not bothered by it. It's never been a thing. Like, I got into it, I was like, this is deep. Like, I like what they're doing here. It's very sort of almost like Twilight Zone for this generation, and then it's just like we're just going to keep the gimmick doing it. The appeal of it is what the title of the season is and where it's set. And the actors are great in it. Like Evan Peters is really good in what he's in.
I mean, Kick-Ass is a cool movie as well, and that again was kind of relevant due to this week's WandaVision episode. But again, that's later. That was a cool reference.
Jurassic World 3, they shot enough footage for a 6-hour movie, according to Sam Neill himself, which scares me.
So are we going to get a Sam Neill cut? Are we going to get a Sam Neill cut afterwards?
God, I hope we don't get a 6-hour Jurassic World. If it's going to tie all up Avengers Endgame,
that's what I mean.
Jurassic franchise, I don't want that much in it.
No, I don't see it. Yeah. Apart from the original, I don't care about the franchise. I didn't mind the second one from what I remember, but 3 was just utter dog shite. One of the worst things I've ever seen. And then I'll say the fourth one. Jurassic World was fine. Chris Pratt carried it, and then Fallen Kingdom I enjoyed, and yet I know it offended some people, but I still thought it was an alright movie. It kind of began and ended, and then Dominion, like you say, is meant to be the end game of the franchise, but it really hasn't got to anywhere like that to me. But I don't know. First one's great, amazing. Yeah. First one's like one of the most important things
ever. Like, it's one of the best things to ever happen in the world. Speaking of the best things to ever happen, I hope this fits in. We're losing Brooklyn Nine-Nine after the upcoming season 8.
Oh, yeah.
How do we feel?
I mean, I haven't watched that show. I've got to say, at least, I feel like it's been a year. Because I know all of it's on Netflix, but I think I got up to season 4. And then I guess life took over. I didn't go back to it. I did really like what I'd seen.
Shame on you.
I swear I'm on season 4. Didn't. I know, shame on me. No. I know. I don't know. But that's when Always Sunny came along. That's when I don't know, what other sitcoms have I watched? I feel like I've watched millions of sitcoms. I just can't left Brooklyn Nine-Nine behind. I don't know. Didn't mean to. I'm sorry, Andy. I like you, Mr. Sandberg, but I just haven't. I just haven't.
I'd recommend you getting back into that for the final season, because that's going to be... I think it's nice that it's ending and doesn't overstay its welcome, like Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
That is a show that vastly...
I forget it got cancelled, didn't it, around Series 5, and then it then got saved, and
the Chuck algorithm, like, it got brought back because fans wanted it to stick around, and there was a big appeal for it, and petitioning and all that kind of stuff. And it is good. It's well made. It's high quality, and I think because we've about to get political here for a moment, all the BLM stuff that was happening to like over 2020 when those police officers murdered George Floyd by allowing one of them to kneel on his neck. Being a show about police officers, you're gonna have to address that, and that was a sort of a thing at the time. Like, it wasn't like a major thing, because obviously there was much more important things happening, like all the marches for making sure that we should all be equal as people, no matter where we come from or who we are. Like, one of the things I remember seeing is like it was a story, I don't remember when, but it was like, what are Brooklyn Nine-Nine going to do? Because obviously it's a comedy sitcom, but it has, like any show, it's it takes its cues from reality and has things to say about certain things. And because all the cast came out, and I remember saying, like, they were obviously appalled by it as much as everyone else, but felt like they wouldn't be able to say the things they wanted to say, because obviously you want to sort of hold, because the police force needs to be held accountable in America for the kind of stuff that they do, and the bias towards what they believe is accidental and like not based on racism, but it clearly is if you look at the statistics. Like, how can they say that in a country that's and on a channel like NBC it's so gonna be affecting to them overall? Like, obviously it will speak to the people, and like a lot of people agree with it, but the higher ups that can just sort of be like, nah. So maybe is it that they're just going out and be like, oh, by the way, fuck you, the police system is terrible in this country? Because there was a debate like, oh, we could, like the creator was like, we could change it to like firefighters or something, but then would it have the same appeal? Because they obviously would appalled by the events and that. So maybe it is a thing of like leaving on a high note. So we always want more, and also they don't feel like they can be as open and tell the stories that they can, because there's only so far you can go in the comedy side of it, because gradually it becomes like there are bits that then like recur and stuff. Obviously, it doesn't just become, oh, we put all the toys back in the box and forget everything each week. Like, it becomes sort of there's overarching things with it. So, is it something to do with that maybe? And the ending of the show, because it's
possibly,
and it's a hard one, but it's obviously very sad because it's such a fun show and it's so well made, and everyone in it loves it, everyone who makes it loves it. If it is anything to do with that, I wouldn't be surprised, because they are very sort of, they follow their beliefs and they're very proud of like this, and I think the outrage maybe could be a factor in that everything that's happened, because there is only so far you can go, and you'd be expected to at least say something, because of the world that, even if it's fictional, the world you are embodying throughout this TV show.
Yeah.
They kind of got a bit.
Yeah, I think
you know what I'm trying to say. Just like it's
kind of
the social.
Yeah, no, I think you kind of definitely hit the nail. Yeah, it is. Yeah. I mean, without even reading into the whole show, because like I say, I've been out of the show since like season 4. But yeah, it definitely. Yeah, it would not surprise me. Politics get in the way of everything nowadays. Politics are influenced. Like, everything is somewhat, like you say, influenced by real life events. Sitcoms, as much as they are just 20-minute one-off episodes, like even something like WandaVision, all right, very different, completely different thing, but they have like deep motifs and deeper meanings to stuff, and like, but again, a real sitcom, because WandaVision, sorry guys, is a fake sitcom.
Ruined it for everyone.
Obviously, like you say, influenced by spoilers. Like you say, influenced by real world events, and yeah, it probably did have an effect. Or maybe they didn't want to end it, and then they got told by their higher ups, and been like, because of what's going on, it's best to call it a day. Like you say, end it while we can on a good note.
Yeah, don't get pulled into that world of like glorifying the police when clearly they shouldn't be.
No, exactly. No.
But I look forward to it's 10 parts, I believe, final season, which is shorter than normal. That's a sunny season.
I was going to say, how long is Brooklyn's a full-on 23, isn't it? Like 22-ish episode.
Like
I don't know.
I think maybe the last 2 were like 16. Maybe.
I'm on Netflix now, 10. But do we have season 6? So Netflix have got season 6. We haven't got season 7, and then season 8 is being made.
Yeah,
season 8 is the last one that they've got to do.
The end of the month drops on Netflix, because that was on E4.
Oh, good. Okay. Okay.
Last year, yeah. So that's.
I'm on season 4, episode 11. That's where I'm up to. The Fugitive.
Well, maybe
that's how far. Again, I haven't watched it.
Up and give us your thoughts on it. We'll do a.
No, I might have to.
For the
I might have to. It'd be relevant. I might have to.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine special. That's what we should have done for episode 99. Fucking ruined it.
What season? Where are we? What, 22, 23, or 20? I don't know. It probably would have been. Yeah, it probably would have been around season 4.
Damn it.
Mathematics. I don't know. I can't think of the exact season, but definitely around season 4 or 5 time.
Possibly.
Oh.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
It's a good show. Something we're not going to miss, and I don't really want to give it much airtime long, but Cara Dune's actress, Gina Carano, is no longer on LucasFilm. because over the last week.
Doesn't surprise me.
If anyone
What a
didn't
cow.
know, I know there's people spouting both sides towards massive hate and defending her for some blind reason. She, on Twitter especially, has liked a lot of sort of profanity in terms of how people are treated. She's a bit, I believe it was, what was it? She compared something like a religious group and that to sort of the Holocaust and things like that, and being sort of
she was against. She slagged off like the whole COVID thing as well. She went against for the face masks and stuff. Or was that someone else? I don't know.
Might be that. I don't know. Transphobic in terms of people being who they are. To which Lucasfilm didn't really do anything or answer it, and that was a few weeks ago, maybe like a month or so ago. We saw that. A lot of that stuff was sort of going on. People like, this is the kind of stuff she's liking and saying about. That's very, I hate to put it in a box, but very much of a sort of Trump supporter kind of, sort of like the diehard sort of like, this is this and this is that. Maybe, I don't know, but
the American way.
They finally departed her. A lot of people saying it took too long, but at least it happened, because it must have been maybe to stop bad press from Mandalorian. I think that's maybe what I'm thinking.
If anything,
they didn't.
It's more politics again. Yeah.
Her. There's rumours that she might be recast. Or Cara Dune maybe just out of course.
Lucy Lawless. Lucy Lawless from Ash vs Evil Dead. I've read could be the new Gina.
I've seen a lot of people say that it'd be really funny for the people that are diehard supporting her. If it was Brie Larson, because they all hate Brie Larson as well. Which I don't really get. She does sometimes come across as a bit arrogant, but I don't have necessarily a big problem with her, just because a lot of people say, like, you're just like trying to cancel it and ganging up on her, and like you're in the wrong and that, and it's just people pushing their agenda down your throat. But I'm just looking solely on the facts of what we've seen from her own personal Twitter account, that she's not hiding in the way she's acting, and I think about time, and we'll see how and if this affects Mandalorian. Cara Dune's not really a character that, like, she was good in season 1.
She wasn't in every single episode. I thought in my mind she was in every episode, but then when you actually rewatch it, she's really not in as much as you think.
Something like that.
Barely.
But yeah, so
I thought, if anything, it'd affect Rangers of the New Republic. Yeah. If anything.
But I don't know. So.
But who knows? Who knows?
Fair play actually getting done. We'll see how that affects the future of the Star Wars Disney Plus universe.
I mean, out of 12 or however many announced, they've only got like 11 left, so it's not really rocked the world of the galaxy for Star Wars too much, I'd like to think.
No,
just because of one actress, we can't lose like 3 shows from it. We can't lose 3 shows from it.
It's not gonna. I don't think it'll affect it that much.
No, it really won't.
Rian Johnson's Star Wars trilogy is still happening on the Star Wars front. It's
happening.
It's still going to happen. It's not cancelled. People were still angry because they hate Last Jedi because they don't know quality.
So, but my question: Are they going to be 10, 11, 12, or what?
Separate
13, 14, 15? All just separate.
The Old Republic is a heavily sought after thing. I wouldn't mind Rian Johnson doing that because I like the Last Jedi, and if you don't agree with me, that's fine, because we're all entitled to opinions, because that's the world we live in. Let's stop getting offended by everything.
You can disagree with The Last Jedi, but you cannot disagree. Everyone can't disagree with Knives Out. That movie's amazing. Knives Out is like one of the best things ever.
I think my top 3 of 2019. I don't know. Hopefully, we actually have films that we can talk about.
I think for you it was. For me, I think it was like number 6 or even number 5. But then for you, it was higher than me. Yeah.
Oh no, it was 3rd. It was.
You did praise
it was Knives Out, Endgame, and Rocketman. Was by 2019.
For you, yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, that did. Yeah.
I don't know. Go back and listen to the episode of Best and Worst of 2019, episode 78. 28, something like that. I don't know. Ray Park has teased his return to Tatooine, possibly in the Obi-Wan Kenobi spin-off TV series. Yes, as long as maybe we get a bit of a follow-on to Solo, and I don't just want that bit from Rebels in live action.
Rebels in on live action, it's pointless. They're undoing what Dave Filoni did, and that man, he's Star Wars. You can't undo or even like step on what he's already made.
That man is
like you say,
Mr.
if it's a sequel, he is really Mr. Star Wars. If it's a Solo, somewhat follow-on thing, fine.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be what we've already seen from a cartoon.
You'd have to talk about it or whatever. That's sort of Jack playing Claptrap in the Borderlands movie. That was the main sort of casting thing we got.
Yes.
Who said me that?
Yes, which I'm massively a fan of. I sort of googled like Borderlands sort of fan casting or like dream before this movie even got announced. And some of the names that were put forward for like Roland, because I mean Kevin Hart as Roland, fine. Roland is a bit of a boring character. No one plays as him. Kevin Hart could give the character some spice and some comedic flavour.
Yeah.
But people like it. Idris. There was one that I really got. Who was it? There was Idris. Baroque was going to be Brick, who's like the big tall brute, which I can see.
You can see, but I don't see Dwayne Johnson
Batista.
Taking, like hardly any fucking lines for. Because he's a star.
Right.
He's not going to be a grunt essentially. Batista, yeah.
Yeah, Batista. That's the other one for him. Vin Diesel was going to be another character. Oh, Diego Luna as Mordecai. There's the sniper with the goggles, or Pedro. Pedro's got there's more casting with Pedro from this week.
Yes, we'll get onto that in a second. Pedro's good.
Pedro's
do you want him just as Galactic Bounty Hunter again? I think Pedro Pascal.
Well, exactly.
Finally been unleashed on the world and should be allowed.
I thought Pedro, but this website was saying Diego Luna, and I think sod it. To me they're the same actor, but give Diego something to do. Cassian Andor, something else to do.
Yeah.
I don't know, some of these names that came up, I was like, yeah, sure. Jamie Foxx, that was the other one I would like to sing as Roland. Jamie Foxx. Because he's
really good.
Serious, but can be funny. He can be funny, yeah. No, as Roland, I think he would have been better. But Kevin Hart would still be fine. Like, I think deep down, whenever I watch a Kevin Hart movie, like, I do think to myself, I'm glad Kevin Hart's in this movie. So he won't be a bad thing by any means. And even I think that the casting director's bloke said, it's a bit of a risk with Kevin Hart, but we're willing to give him more of a chance. And basically, the interview sort of acknowledged the fact that Kevin Hart, it's a not the usual type of role that Kevin Hart does, but we know he'll do an excellent job, and can't wait to work with him and stuff. No, Kevin Hart will be great. He'll give the character some spice. But I don't know. I thought Jamie Foxx would have been nicer. I don't know.
No, yeah, I
don't know. There was multiple names. Like, again, they've only announced. Oh, sorry. Well, yeah. Sorry.
I'd like Jamie Foxx because obviously, he's just a fantastic actor. It'd be nice for Kevin Hart to sort of further himself and maybe push himself into something that's not conventional.
More serious territory.
Just Kevin Hart's in it and he's funny.
That's what I mean. Okay, the only one I want to know, because again they haven't said that this character's in it because the character's dead, but Scooter. Who the hell would you cast as Scooter? I mean, you remember Scooter, don't you? Or did you? I think you have played Borderlands, don't you?
Yeah, I've got
Matthew McConaughey. Matthew McConaughey as Scooter. Can't you ride?
Yeah. I mean, I can see that. I'm trying to think of who else could. I don't know. It's a hard one. I'd have to maybe come back to that.
There were so many characters on this Reddit post, and I think they've literally announced Tannis. It was Ryan Reynolds. Oh no, there was another guy who I thought would have been a great handsome Jack. Oh, who was it? It was somebody like. Oh no, who was handsome? No, who was it? No, who was handsome Jack? And I was like, yes.
Carl Urban.
No. 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 Oh, who the hell was Handsome Jack on this one forum? And I was like,
Josh Brolin.
oh no, I had his face. I had his face, and his name ain't. Oh no. Oh.
What does he look like? What was he in?
I'm going blank. I just had his face in my head. I'm going to see if I can find this Reddit post because again, it was really good.
Alden Ehrenreich.
No. Best fantasy cast. Yeah. No. So okay, I think I found it. So again, literally, they've named a lot of the characters from all the games. I don't know how far they're going to go with this movie, but like, say, Axton from Borderlands 2 is going to be Chris Pratt.
Yeah, I can see it. Maybe, stop. Let's just ease up on Chris Pratt a little bit until he, betters himself.
Tom Cruise as Handsome Jack. That's not who I was thinking of, but
right off. He's involved in
Torg, who's from Borderlands 2. He's this big, loud white man. But fuck it, this guy said Terry Crews. Gender.
Terry Crews.
Terry Crews.
It'd be great.
Chiwetel Ejiofor as Sir Hammerlock. If you've seen him. Yeah.
He's a great actor.
Christina Hendricks as Mad Moxie.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy as Krieg, who's a DLC character wearing a fucking gas mask. Essentially, he's going to be another Bane.
Is Christopher Nolan going to direct it?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, lads.
Hello.
So you froze for a minute, so I tend to quit and then join again.
You froze and then it went blank and then I didn't know what was happening.
H2. I think this is the website I looked at. I just want to see whoever said handsome. Karen Gillan as Tannis, Angelina Jolie, Matthew McConaughey as handsome. Oh, who the hell was it? There was one actor who didn't come up, and I was like, oh my god, he'd be a perfect handsome chap. That's going to really bother me, whoever the hell it was. But yeah, no, that movie ain't going to happen for a while, so we'll find out. Oh, I'm not on camera. Hello.
You look like you're doing Bohemian Rhapsody. Oh, it's gone.
Oh, I don't know. That movie ain't going to come for a while, and then we'll forget all. But yeah, it could be a cool what if.
It's going to be fun.
Type casting. It will be fun.
Just
I want it to do well. I want it to.
Quickly talk about Last of Us because we got.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
The HBO Max show. Pedro Pascal was Joel. Everyone wanted Hugh Jackman and Daphne King, and Bella Ramsey as Ellie, who is Lady
Game of Thrones girl.
Mormont.
Yes.
I'm very okay with this.
I mean, I don't know, but part of me feels like Pedro's a safe casting because of everything that's going on with Mandalorian. I don't know. And again, Joel's American. Pedro's like from Chilean. He's not Mexican, but he's not American. I don't know. It's not the typical casting of the character, but again, I'm not going to knock it because I know he'll do a great job. And like there was, I don't know if I did send you the fan art or not, but it looked interesting.
Really
I did send you the face.
I look forward to it. As a video game related property, yes.
Yeah. No, I mean we'll see it.
Oh, we'll definitely.
It's one of the best modern gaming experiences out there. Like that's not on Xbox. I mean, it's only on PlayStation, so it's one of those few games you jump for console for, in my opinion.
Really?
It's worth it. It's worth it.
Maybe.
As an Xbox guy, it was worth getting it on PlayStation because I was like, Jesus, this is actually quite deep.
I became an Xbox
Both
guy
games are great.
and I stayed an Xbox guy. because I was PlayStation, put the PS4 and then didn't really play it, and then jumped to an Xbox One with my paycheck, and then was like, this is good. Achievements are cool.
Achievements are better.
But yeah, I will do. It's going to be so good. Like that show, I think is just such a good idea. Like it works as a show, not as a movie.
Oh, that's what I mean.
It lends itself.
Yeah.
To that.
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm learning as well with a lot of TV programs. There's time. Films, there's always a deadline. There's always a budget restraint. I'm not saying TV don't have budget as well, but there's always time to really learn everything about the people, and it could really like flesh out its world. So yeah, TV absolutely would work for Last of Us. I think it's the right call.
Mm-hmm. Keeping along the line of TV, we got a confirmation of the cast of the Game of the Thrones spin-off, House of the Dragon.
Oh, yeah. House of the Rising Dragon, yeah.
Daemon Targaryen is Matt Smith.
Yeah.
Rhaenyra Targaryen is Emma Darcy. Alicent Hightower is Olivia Cook. King Viserys is Hot Fuzz and World's End alumni Paddy Considine.
Oh, okay. Interesting, yeah. Interesting.
Lord Corlys Velaryon is Steve Toussaint, which is good because I don't know if that's an illustration from a book or from an animation thing or like just expanded media, but he's a white man, and obviously Steve Toussaint is not, so that's nice. Doesn't have to be white because that's obviously
different.
It's not important to the story. Let's have some representation in a big show. Otto Highflower is Rhys Ifans, the lizard himself. Fabulous actor. Rhaenyra Velaryon is Eve Best, and Mysteria is Sonya Mizuno. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. I don't know, because Game of Thrones still left me a bit. Yeah. Will a spin-off
give it the kick that
to
people
sort of
need?
keep you in? I don't know.
We won't know.
I'll watch it because Matt Smith.
Hopefully, yeah, exactly. No, that'd be my reason too. But hopefully, it won't get to 8 seasons. It'll be maybe 3 or 4 at best,
Well, if it
and
does,
it'll end on a
cut
high.
the episodes.
And they don't cut the episode. And they're still an hour. Well, no, how long was the average Game of Thrones episodes? Like 50 minutes, right? Or were they an hour?
Something like that.
They basically were an hour. No, keep them exactly as they were, but then maybe don't go to 8. Maybe actually have half of it. Maybe 4 seasons max of that. Maybe depending on what they cover and what they want to tell us, and then leave it. Because it's not the only spin-off we're getting. We're supposedly meant to be getting other ones, right? Or were the rest all cancelled? This is the only one that we are getting.
Because the one that was who's it going to be? I don't remember, but there was one that got cancelled, even though they had a pilot for it and stuff, and it was originally ordered.
There was like
they just pulled the plug.
There was like 5 announced, and then there was only like 2 of them. One of them being House of Dragon. There was another one, I'm sure, but yeah.
I'm sure it will disappoint people in new ways. Marvel.
Yeah, exactly.
Before we bounce on over to WandaVision for this week, a lot of stuff happening, as always. They cast Zoe Ashton as the villain for Captain Marvel 2, so she's fresh meat on Channel 4, and for our immediate sort of listening audience is Journey Blue from Into the Daleks Series 8, Episode 2 of Doctor Who.
I also recognised her from Velvet Buzzsaw, Netflix, Jake Gyllenhaal, weird arty. That's like her most recent film thing.
There you go.
I knew her face. I knew her face. So yeah, I knew her face.
Well, that's the things that she's from. She's a very good actress, and I wish her the best as the villain. Not disclosed yet, but I don't really know Captain Marvel's Rogues Gallery, so we'll have to come back to that one. She's joining obviously Iman Vellani as Miss Marvel, Tiona Paris, and Brie Larson in Captain Marvel 2, working title at the moment.
Captain Marvel 2, Revenge of the Skrulls. Revenge of...
Captain Marvel Secret Invasion.
Which would then tie into Secret Invasion series.
Maybe. That's how you do it. Guardians of the Galaxy stars have exited Australia as Thor 4 filming continues without them, with the quote just a tiny piece of the puzzle. Obviously, the Guardians of the Galaxy are with Thor at the end of Endgame, so it makes sense for the movie that Thor was next in, that they're still there, because obviously if Guardians 3 had happened, then that would have maybe been there, because Thor was supposedly meant to level the odds with Adam Warlock fighting them. But they're gone. Do we think they're in more than half or less than half of this movie?
I want to say less. I reckon, if anything, like it'll be the opening act. It'll literally be, like I said to you maybe on the podcast before, like it'll be like, not a semi-recap, but you know, we last saw them in Endgame literally being in charge of captain of the ship, and it was a very funny end segment. The film will begin with that, as sort of an extension of that scene, and it literally will be. If this is, what way is it? Is this the Guardians movie or is this the Thor movie you're talking about? Like, what way is it? Because essentially, the other one will kick the other one out. This is Thor, so maybe Thor. Okay, they're in the Guardian ship though, right? Because maybe the Guardian will just kick Thor out the ship, and then that's why he's by himself. I don't know. It would just be like, you know what? Fuck you.
Maybe
They'll just kick him out the ship. But in a comedic way, not because they genuinely don't like each other. It will just be like, you know what? It'll be a funny scene.
But then we've seen the.
I think that's probably
Chris Hemsworth's Thor ripped again, haven't we? So maybe is this the climax?
And long hair. Yeah, maybe. It's probably both. It'll be like they'll be at the beginning. It'll be at the beginning, and then, like you say, they'll be at the end to then be in the other movie, maybe, because they're both linked. Guardians 3 and 4. They're both going to have roles in each other's movies. I'd like to think. Taika and James Gunn are somewhat friendly, so I'd like to think that they're kind of collaborating on both projects somewhat together. They're overseeing each other's little things, so they know how to incorporate each other on each other's works retrospectively. I'd like to.
Yeah, maybe. It'd be interesting to see.
Whatever way we get it.
Apparently rumoured for Doctor Strange include Renfro the Magical Minotaur, very minor character from the comics, if I remember rightly. But I could be thinking of someone else. That's an interesting thing, expanding it. As long as he's not the main villain, then.
So there was one I sent you.
Yeah.
Or is that the one I sent you? The weird, like, he looked like a frog.
Yeah.
He looked like a weird frog.
That's a Minotaur.
He's a Minotaur. He was a frog.
Apparently, Carl Urban is more favoured for this role of Kraven the Hunter by Spider-Man fans themselves. Having seen him do more things, yes, Carl Urban in more things, and he is younger, so you could get more out of Kraven, but Keanu Reeves would be really cool.
But he supposedly turned down the role. He supposedly has turned it down. It's like, why would you turn it down? It's part of the biggest film movement. He's turned it down. No, but I mean, I don't know. Carl Urban, if he gets it, cool. I don't have a problem with either Carl or Keanu, but I mean, I'd like to see Keanu in some Marvel property at some point.
Yes.
Got to do something.
As
something.
Nova.
Fuck it, yes, something different for him, yes, because he's a very different person.
Maybe Reed Richards if you don't get John Krasinski.
Also, does that mean we'll see him? Well, no. Would we have seen him in this week's episode then?
Possibly.
By the time this comes out, we would already, we would know that answer. But yeah, by the time this
comes out, WandaVision speak. Michael B. Jordan could return as Killmonger. Don't, because his death was justified and meant something to that character, and I wouldn't just use it as a shortcut to sort of replace, in scare quotes, the Black Panther character in Chadwick Boseman's performance. So I wouldn't just sort of you'd step on that movie by bringing him back. In retrospect, as good as Michael B. Jordan was, don't do it. Let's.
I saw that. Yeah. I don't know.
Crossbones is definitely done in the MCU, says his actor Frank Grillo.
Frank Grillo, yeah.
Replacing Wolverine is compared to recasting Batman, says the Russo brothers. It won't be easy. Yes.
I suppose, yeah.
Which is
I
why we
suppose.
don't want him
Whereas,
in any X-Men things for a while. Make
for a
us
while,
wait.
until they get it right. Yeah, until they get it right. Mm.
Make us wait for Wolverine.
I suppose the difference is between Batman and Wolverine. We've had about what? Like Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney. I mean, Jesus Clooney. We've had about 4 Batman. We've only had 1 Wolverine. There's only been 1 Hugh Jackman. So it is a bit harder.
7.
Who? What Wolverines?
No,
what?
Adam West.
Keaton. Oh, yes, Adam. Of course. Oh,
Adam West,
Robin.
Keaton,
Adam
Kilmer,
West, Keaton,
Clooney.
Yeah.
Keaton, Kilmer,
Clooney.
But no.
Christian Bale, and then Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. 5.
And then
Robert Pattinson.
Older Michael. Yes, and Terry McGinnis, whoever plays Terry McGinnis. He will count.
Pedro Pascal.
Oh,
because he's the go-to.
Why not? He's hot shit at the minute. He's hot shit.
I'm likely he's getting more stuff. Is WandaVision teasing the Fantastic Four? We'll probably get into that in our WandaVision discussion because there's
literally in a bit.
It's Reed Richards that's somehow involved, but we'll say that in a minute. Disney Plus is predicted to have more subscribers than Netflix by 2026.
Jeez, confident.
Spike Lee would be considered directing a Marvel movie and calls DC corny. You sent me that, yes. Spike Lee is great.
Yeah, cool.
Give him just free reign of some fucking mad shit and just let him do Frog Thor the movie.
Oh my god. Yeah, but the thing is, with his movie, he likes being political and sending a message. So it'll probably be like an animal cruelty movie.
It has a banging soundtrack, whatever you make.
And yes, the soundtrack could be dope. Yes, yeah.
And leaked Spider-Man 3 title, which take this as you will, if you think about the casting.
I've not even heard this, so go on. This is news to me.
It leaked on Twitter. Apparently, a screenshot from a projector.
Spider-Man Mephisto?
Home Mephisto. Mephisto.
I mean...
So maybe all the apparitions could not be real of these previous characters and it's just the things that confuse it, and maybe Mephisto is the big bad leading in from Doctor Strange. But I doubt it. I doubt it very much.
Mephisto... I think if it's Mephisto or Nightmare, because again they're separate characters in the comics. Nightmare is a very Doctor-centric character. And because the MCU or any original, they like to merge some character biographies and sort of merge them into one being.
Yeah.
I think whoever we get, Nightmare or Mephisto, they'll be the same character essentially.
Yeah. It'll be
they'll
just
sort of merge.
To American audiences, the devil. They'll either really take to it or be really sort of, this is bad because of religion.
Whoever we end up getting as the villain. Yeah.
And
I don't know. And I just think for the sake of comic books, you can't have so many different fucking people. Like, say, okay, Magneto potentially, Mephisto, Nightmare. That's 3 villains in Doctor Strange. You know, if all of them are separate individual people, you know, it's a lot to deal with.
But it'd be really cool though.
Really.
And
it would be mad.
Apparently, the last 3 episodes of WandaVision will be an hour each, according to Kevin Feige, because they've all been like a half hour.
But let's be real. Let's be real. It will be roughly 49 minutes with about 11 minutes worth of credits. No, it'll be over 45 at least. It'll be over 45 minutes. We'll get actual footage.
We'll find out this Friday. But in the meantime, it's spoiler alert time for WandaVision episode 6. Connor,
hit
us with what happened this week.
So, new decade, new intros. Again, this intro very inspired by Malcolm in the Middle. Cheesy. Basically, the kids are almost teenage-like. Yeah. Oh, I mean, I've never watched that sitcom, but after watching that intro, I really do want to watch the middle. Basically, the kids are... They're not quite teenagers yet, but I always looked at them and thought, wait, have they grown up again? But essentially, they're now got their fun man-child uncle, Pietro. Funny enough, they don't refer to him as Quicksilver in the intro. It just says Pietro as himself, which is another weird Like, who is he? But no, so we get our very cool Malcolm in the Middle, very cool-ish intro. It's a genuine highlight of all the episodes, because you just don't know what on earth they're going to come up with. All the intros have just been vastly different. It's parties. But then we finally get, from like the first trailer, we've seen Scarlet Witch in her classic costume, and we get Vision in the classic costume. We finally see, this is the episode where it's finally Halloween, like I've been saying all along. It's probably the one thing we've been able to predict, was episode 6 was going to be Halloween, so I'm very happy it finally happened. And this is the one where they all dress up and basically go trick-or-treating.
Yep.
But like I say,
costumes for not just Vision and Wanda.
No, but of course they weren't going to reveal Quicksilver back in the first trailer, so yeah. But it's cool that he looks more Quicksilver than Aaron Taylor ever did. Really?
Yes.
No, but even I think Billy, the short-haired kid, is wearing his Wiccan costume directly from the Young Avengers comics.
Yep.
With his blue headband and sort of the red cape and stuff. I mean, Speed, the Quicksilver Jr., I like to call him, he wears more of a green garb and has slightly shorter hair in the comics, but he'll get there. He'll have a haircut.
They get their powers.
Basically, well, yeah, they get their powers. Pietro is a little shit, and he basically teaches them their powers. And like I say, he's the cool man-child uncle. He's not really a good role model, but he just likes to, be there for the kids, I guess. But he's like their big brother in a way. He's not really uncle. He's more like their brother, so to speak. But yeah,
your brother was
Vision.
So good with kids.
Oh no! It was just a cool intro because I thought it's just that you see them all come down the stairs in their garden. It's just like, yes, finally, it's what I've been waiting to see. But no, Vision. What Scarlet Wanda, whatever you want to call her, but Wanda is basically like,
the Scarlet Witch title yet, Connor. I feel like she will in the final episode. Well, she's not going to stupid
by the
name.
End. What happened to your accent? What happened to yours? Vision don't want to do anything fun because he's a miserable bastard. He's like I say, he's like a Mexican wrestler.
He knows it's not real.
Yeah, he knows it's fake. Yeah, unfortunately, Paul Bettany's too good for this shit.
He
don't want to do nothing on Halloween.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I think in terms of both, in terms of what their story did this week for each other, they went in opposite ways. But I think the action, like what they bring to it, is just like some really powerful stuff from Paul Bettany, and like a lot more sort of nuance from Elizabeth Olsen. I think they really are fucking doing the best acting of like for them
of their career so far
in the MCU.
Well, their importance has gone from like maybe 10-20% to like over 120 at the minute because particularly Wanda, because essentially she's going to become, like Kevin Feige's always said that she's like the most powerful being in the cinematic universe, and we really haven't seen it.
We can see it
but now, by the end of this series, or even by the end of the episode, she might prove her point. But alas, Vision doesn't want to go trick-or-treating. He decides to become part of the Neighbourhood Watch and sort of investigate anomalies and sort of stop evil trick-or-treaters.
The Neighbourhood Watch was episode 2. He sort of started to become part of that.
Yeah.
But now he's using that as a, like you say, a cover to find out.
A cover to sort of find out what's going on. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Vision just didn't want to do anything with them, so he's like, I'm going to go off and... Like, they say that he's a Mexican luchador and she's a Sokovian fortune teller or something, which maybe... or whatever it was. Vision goes off anyway. Cut to the chase. Vision fucks off and does his thing for most of the episode by himself, whereas Scarlet, the kids, and Quicksilver basically go day trick-or-treating in the day. I mean, I don't know who does that personally, but trick-or-treat is more of a night-time situation. When I went out, it was more of an evening thing.
It starts like early evening, and like there's a fair on in the centre of town. There's like all stuff going on. You actually see other kids in the world for once. And we see the wider... Yeah,
because again, that was a point in the last episode with Wanda and Vision having their first sort of real clash. Vision, of course, brought that up, and it was like, where are all the other kids? I walk this way to work, and there's no kids on the swings in the park. And yeah, like you say, voila, trick or treat is the one time of the year where every bugger has kids galore. So that's another unusual anomaly. This episode's great as well with Quicksilver because we get so many conversations with him and Wanda, but we learn from him that he knows this is all fake because he sort of says to her like, "Oh, come on, I'm impressed with this, but like, tell me like how long have you been doing this for, really?" or something along those lines. But she's like, "Well, what do you mean?" I can't think of the exact line, but basically, like, he knows kind of what's going on.
Yeah.
And he sort of explains that he got shot like a street cat, and he don't remember how he ended up there, but he just heard her call to him, and that's how he ended up there. Yeah. So it's implying that Wanda did summon Quicksilver,
or something.
Even though
he's got the overarching power on it, I believe. Catherine Hahn is Agnes.
There's definitely another entity.
The witch Agatha from the comics. I think that's.
Well.
Maybe a fair assumption. Maybe, like you said before, like cross-spliced with Mephisto, they've sort of maybe merged those two into one. Because she was a bit strange, but then maybe was she under it? I don't know. But
that's the thing, after this episode, I feel like Agnes has changed a little bit. My thoughts on Agnes personally has changed.
I think it's a deep cover in it, because Scarlet Witch is the one that started it, but she has control of it now.
No.
That's very much...
Genuinely, it's like there's two personas. She literally knows what she's doing 1 minute, and it makes her look so antagonistic by the end of the episode especially. It makes her look like she's the big bad. But then in the conversations with Quicksilver, she generally doesn't seem to know how he ended up there, why her accent disappeared, or why anything's all happening. But alas, we get loads of good conversations with Quicksilver where he asks sort of what the audience is thinking, like, what happened to the accent? Or what happened to yours? And of course, I don't exactly answer that question, but it's a cool sort of meta joke that the fans have said since Scarlet's been a part of the Avengers team, because gradually she was basically Russian, Sokovian, and then she just turned American. So it was nice that joke's there. Evan Peters, I mean, I've rewatched bits of Days of Future Past. He don't sound like a cool gangster. I mean, Evan Peters sounds like a gangster, I think, in Wonder Vision. Like, he's a proper New York heavy accent, whereas in the X-Men movies, he's not as. Yeah, I don't know. He does. He
was
in real life,
26, 27 in Days of Future Past.
When he did
He's
X-Men.
34 now. So we're assuming that it's either that character, like not knowing what happened because he's under the mind control, like from that universe, whether it's him reimagining like the Aaron Taylor Johnson one in the sitcom landscape, because that's all going to change how he's like acting, because he's acting, like you said, in terms of the uncle that comes from out of town to sort of cause mayhem for an episode and then leave, and could maybe recur later and come back, sort of thing. Like, it does very much seem like that. And also,
well, he even says that to Wanda. He says like he literally turns up towards the end. I'm not jumping to the end, but he says in like the last real conversation, he says like, "Oh, I'm here. I'm doing what I'm doing. You know, I'm here for your kids. Like, I'm here to cause mischief," and whatever the line was exactly. Just think, you are being summoned to cause drama, essentially.
Yeah, the sitcom cliches, and depending on what version of it is, like he knows this character, so he's trying to play it a different way anyway because of like the circumstances that surround him, but also doing that also having to do that because he doesn't want to play it the same way anyway. Like, you don't want to just sort of do what he did in Days of Future Past and Apocalypse, even though as the series went on, he still has to distinguish it as this could possibly be the same.
Another take.
He's got to play it as the ultimate version of this now, if he is going to be that. I'd love us to get a scene with Aaron though. I think if that's
what I mean. I feel like that's going to happen.
I would buy that. Like a thing of you didn't think we were getting more than one Quicksilver, but this is her closure that maybe reawakens her into the world. I don't know. But we get a shot of his dead body.
Really. I know, jump scare, but he looks more like a zombie, and I even saw theories saying, is this Marvel Zombies? I mean, you can argue Vision's the same thing, but Vision's dead, like fully dead. He hasn't got a stone in his head. But the interesting thing is, and again, we'll talk about it when we get to this bit of the episode, the stone isn't gone from the scene. You know what scene I'm talking about at the end. He still has his stone in his head.
Yes.
Which is another weird fact. Like, But again, I'll get to that when we get to that bit.
We also got
yeah.
we also got Aaron Taylor Johnson in the opening recap. Like when they're talking about Ultron in the show, then we get a clip of Age of Ultron of him like being grazed by a bullet by the police officer. We get that bit, and then we see him laying on the floor after he got shot by Ultron.
Again, like you say, why would they show us that if they're not going to do anything with Taylor Johnson? Like, he has to somehow appear. There has, and again, I'll address.
There was a theory that I sent you that maybe Hayward is the human embodiment of Ultron, and that's why he's so against Scarlet Witch, because of the Avengers, and he was part of the reason she had her powers, and the whole thing with the Stone Mate. I don't know.
The thing is, he's done it in the comics. He's done it in these comics, so that's why everyone's like, yeah, this could happen because he's actually done it before in the comics. So,
really
but
cool.
I don't know. I personally hope it isn't that, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is at the same time. I don't know.
I don't particularly want it because.
No, I don't personally.
Ultron was,
no.
I think, so much more than one movie. Like, there's so much more they could do with him.
Yeah. Well, we said that about Aaron because I mean, it was 8 pictures for Aaron, and he hasn't appeared in more than one. I mean, this isn't a picture.
I've seen conflicting things that it's 4 or 3. Like, I remember seeing an 8 article of like 8, like just before like Age of Ultron come out. Like, that's what he signed on for it. Like, that's what it was. It was definitely a few. So.
A few films, at least. Yeah, sure.
Maybe just to cover their backs, so then they don't they announce the picture deal, so you think, oh, he's going to stick around for a while, and then it's subverts your expectation. But I don't know.
The thing is, anyway, we saw Aaron Taylor's recap from Age of Ultron, where he saw the bullets and him dying and everything. But then when we see jump scare Quicksilver, zombie dead Quicksilver, sort of confirming to the audience that, like Vision, he's probably dead, really. Why did we only see the bullets in his chest, whereas Taylor Johnson got shot in his arms? He got shot all over, whereas Quicksilver was just in his chest.
I don't know.
Evan Peters was just on his chest, which is another weird detail. Or maybe when he said he got shot like a street cat, maybe it was like an unseen death that we didn't see, not necessarily in Dark Phoenix, but maybe in the Foxx timeline. That maybe, he did get shot like a gangster and he just went bang, 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 and maybe we didn't see it because that movie never happened. Or it just could be a third Quicksilver from an alternative timeline that we may or may not explore ever, and it just might be his death.
Or
I don't know.
Because they didn't know what they looked like and just picked one.
Exactly, and he just kind of simulated it. Yeah, he just kind of made it up.
And it's a stunt casting to just go sort of like, it's subverting your expectation, but it's quite funny that we got the other guy to do it, and it isn't bigger than this, but it's a nice sort of little nod and a tip of the hat to that version.
To everything that came before. No, but I mean, so again, the real highlight of this episode was their conversations, because again, it does offer some insight into this version of Quicksilver, but again, I'm still unsure of if he's genuine, if he says, like, it's like he's almost breaking the fourth wall when he says, what's going on, what's up with the accent, he's almost, as much as he's, like you say, playing the game, playing the system, sort of being part of Wanda sitcom, like, he clearly knows this is all fake. He even says near the end of the episode, he's like, chill out, it's not like your dead husband can die twice. So again, how would you know he's dead? So again, he's a shady Quicksilver.
It's maybe the
but alas, that's
overarching person who's actually in control. Should we talk about the Agnes scene?
Yeah.
Agnes and Vision. Vision gets
go on, You're dying to...
So Vision goes to the more outskirts of the suburbs, to other houses, because she makes a point of saying to Wiccan and Speed, like, don't go beyond Ellis Avenue, because I think that's
Ellis Avenue
of the Hex.
Yeah.
And as Vision gets further and further out, people are either they're moving less and less. You can get into a woman putting up her Halloween decorations who's just looping in the same bit, and you can see just a tear down her face because she knows she's trapped and she just has no control over it. And people stop completely, like as if that's the maximum of her reach. So she's definitely a lot more powerful and getting stronger, either by her own accord through grief
every
or
second.
by something else.
Every second.
And we see Catherine Hand's Agnes in the scene. We get the scene from the trailer in full. We get she's in the car,
just frozen.
Yeah. Under under the control, and then he does the same thing that he did with Norm, take her out of the control of Wanda, even though they only ever say her, they're not saying her name, so is it another her, like Agnes?
Exactly. Dottie.
Dottie, maybe, I don't know. Could be. I don't think it's just Wanda. And we get the thing, we get a longer version of seeing that, am I dead? No. Why do you think that? Because you are.
No, why would you think that? Yeah.
And Vision doesn't know what an Avenger is.
Which was heartbreaking. When I heard that line, it was just like, oh.
He doesn't.
He's undoing his own canon.
Anything outside of being resurrected as a puppet, really. Says
he is
actually
a dead part.
Control, and he puts her back after she's doing a cackling laugh because there is no way out. We can't leave. Puts her back under. Then she manages to like break free, like from her sort of NPC character action, shall we say? And
it's weird, isn't it? Yeah, and she just goes. Yeah, she drives off.
And then Vision goes through the barrier. But obviously,
but again, I think. Because before you get to that, that's what I think. I find Agnes is not as guilty because in that scene when she's talking to Vision and she's sort of,
she's fucking.
Is she not? Is she though? No, I think the witch laugh.
I don't see what the fuck it's got to do with you.
The witch laughing though. I mean, why would she even laugh like a?
Why is she dressed like a witch
if it isn't anything?
Like a witch? Because she is a witch.
I know. But that's the thing, is she under control by Mephisto, or is she just playing the game because she can?
I think she's playing the game because she
is she being subjected to the torture? That's what I don't know.
It's so hard.
Literally, it beat me up. I saw that scene and I was like, it might not be you then? I don't know, I really don't know. Literally, I don't know who anyone is in that show anymore. But yes, so... Before we get to like the big final act of the episode, because in the meantime, S.W.O.R.D are outside. Monica, Jimmy Woo, and Darcy on the outside, and of course, Dickhead Hayward, Mephisto Hayward this week are,
Hayward.
Hayward is Ultron Hayward. Yeah, okay, let's just call him Ultron. He's obviously complaining. I can't remember what he says because I don't zone out. I just think, fuck you, dickhead. I don't like you.
I think there's more to it.
He's just moaning as usual. He's moaning as usual, and he traps.
So that he can sort of...
Yeah, that's what we learn, yeah. Whereas we thought it was previously Wanda, Vision, it's Project Cataract or something on the laptop, so what on earth exactly is Project Cataract? We don't entirely know.
He's hiding.
There's a couple names on the computer.
Get him out of
There's a couple names on the computer. Yeah, so they get arrested. So Jimmy and Monica... and Darcy are supposedly getting arrested and sort of getting trapped in the van. But in the 5 years during the blip, Jimmy and Monica learn how to... They take down the guards and obviously learn a bit of kung fu. So then they sort of free themselves from their restraints and they basically don't get arrested. They're fine. But Hayward don't know that.
Yeah.
But that's when we find out, like you say, we find out Vision's the one being tracked, that Hayward's after, not Wanda. What could that all mean? Is it Ultron, like you say, being an AI program? Is he just... Don't know. I don't know. It's all plausible. Anything's literally plausible at this point. But Project Cataract. But like you say, we see Vision and a bunch of blue icons, which are the civilians like frozen in place.
So they've managed to
and then you see.
Because of it.
But like you say, we see the edge of the hex. I like how it's called the hex. Finally, just the barrier. The hex, and were you going to get on to like the big bit?
Yeah, you go for
regarding
it.
Vision or not?
Go for the big bit because we're at the end now.
Okay.
That's like it went. Quick.
Basically,
it was slightly longer, but it still went quick.
It was slightly. It was weird. It felt like Dark Dimension Part 4. It literally began. It wasn't really a middle, and it just kind of ended in the best way possible.
You got really into it, and then it was like, oh shit, I want more of this. Why is this?
It was just
now?
Damn. Exactly. It's ultimate cockpit. It's literally WandaVision every week at the moment is cockpit. But alas, Vision, being the brave explorer, and because we always saw it in the trailer, he finally has the balls, puts his hand on the hex, and he sort of squeezes every ounce of his energy, and he sort of phases through it very slowly and using all his might and energy. And alas, S.W.O.R.D obviously are tracking him, so all you see is the soldiers getting ready, sort of aiming their guns at the field. You see, like last week with Scarlet when she just burst through the thing and you saw the field sort of, fuzzing up. You just see this shadow that was basically Vision just, again, stepping through with all of his might. And he sort of falls to his knees. And then we see little robot particles just burst off, but not just bursting onto the floor. They burst back towards the Hex. Like you say, implying that he can't exist. For obvious reasons of him being dead, he can't exist without Wanda's magic. Which again goes back to the commercial. I mean, what was up with the commercial? It was so creepy this week. The boy on the island with a yogurt, with a bit of Yo magic yogurt, and implying that the boy's Vision, and obviously if you don't have a bit of the magic, you're dying. So that's essentially what it is.
Mm-hmm. So it also implies that then he's sorry, that it's not the body being moved about because his whole body existed. Unless they were starting to dissect him as a weapon against his wishes, like was said. But then his wishes were for no one to have him as a weapon, so S.W.O.R.D were trying to abide by that. So maybe it also, if him not existing means that then there's none of his body in the Vision, in WandaVision. It's just all being generated from his corpse and accelerated by Wanda to make a physical being.
Exactly, because like you say, we found out episodes ago that S.W.O.R.D used his body and Wanda broke in. Yeah, like you say, implying by what we see, how would Vision even have a body outside? Yeah, no, that's a very good point. I didn't even think of that. But good point. But alas, we see Vision basically calling out for help, and we literally see particles. He's essentially dying in the most saddest way. My heart literally sunk. Yeah, I don't even care about a synth. The only synthezoid I've ever known. I mean, I'd just call him an android, but he's a synthezoid. He's the only synthezoid I've ever cared about. I don't want Paul Bettany to go. Paul Bettany wants a career after WandaVision, as he said in interviews. I want more Paul Bettany. I don't want him to die. So literally, that was probably the most intense MCU moment I felt in months. Yeah. I don't want him to go. I don't want him to go. This is only episode 6. Imagine if he died. Imagine that was the tweet. Imagine he just got killed off
again. Oh my God, they killed me.
I know, but for real. No, but alas, Darcy comes up and she's like, "Why aren't you helping him?" And Hayward is just staring at him, aiming their guns. They're not doing anything, bastard. And like you say, Vision is essentially dying. And then we see Billy, who Wiccan's power in the comic is that, again, like Scarlet, he can sense danger and future warnings and anomalies and stuff. Yeah, so he goes up to Wanda and basically tells him, Vision's in trouble. And then he says, there's men with guns or something. And then Wanda immediately he looks at him as if she's like, what do you mean? Where's Daddy? And then she's like, she knows. That's what I mean. It's like two personas. Then she knows immediately what's going on. It's very weird.
It's like breaking character from her sitcom character. And then she pauses everyone.
It is.
Very Charles Xavier-ish. Like everyone freezes on the spot. And then she focuses in and the Hex expands, gets bigger by a few more kilometres and overtakes the shield base. And I like the shot of the not shield base, S.W.O.R.D base, and there's people running away. You see what then they become when the filter goes over them. You've got some of the trucks turn into hot dog vans, and the base turn into a circus, and some of the people turn into clowns.
Into clowns,
everyone's absorbed, including Darcy and Jimmy.
Yeah. I think the only people outside are Monica, Hayward, because weren't Monica and Hayward in the same car?
Maybe.
Because Monica, essentially, one of the few mysteries going into this week's episode, which again I hope we find out, and it's someone somewhat important. It ain't just a random dickhead. Essentially, Monica said in this episode that there's a contact she's got to meet regarding. I can't remember the exact word. Basically, she's got to meet someone, and Monica did go off before the rift, the Hex expanded. And she looked like she was further enough away, so I don't think she got sucked back in again.
Because that's the main point of if you go, you've come through twice, if you go back in again, then it's dangerous for your DNA.
But that's another separate theory. But say if, again, for whatever reason in this episode, she just keeps expanding the Hex, and say it goes worldwide, is that how we're going to get mutants? Because if people's DNA changes, is this how we're going to get
when she makes a point of the DNA
people...
change, that coming back out of it,
are we going to get
again? And then they stop.
I know.
Then she becomes her character from the
different
comics and has her power set because Monica Rambeau has powers.
Photon. She becomes Captain Marvel. She's known as Photon, like Maria was codenamed in the S.W.O.R.D episode. Like, episode 4, I think, she was called Photon.
Yeah.
And then Spectrum. So she has like 3 alter egos. But alas, it could be for any person. Like you say, is everyone's DNA going to get changed? Is it going to be people that basically lived through the blip, like Haywood, that was stuck for 5 years? Are they going to be the ones that will turn into mutants, or is it the people that died and then came back? Are they going to be the mutant? Like, is that going to be the difference between the population? Like, half of them will be normal, half of them will be mutants. Is that how it's going to be?
Possibly.
That's what my mind went to immediately, straight away.
Especially when they were talking about the Monica thing, whether it was this week or last week, of the DNA thing. I was like, is this where mutants go?
The way of doing mutants.
We're going to have to find out, though, aren't we? Because that was a really great episode, and only 3 more left, an hour long each. We've got 2000s up to present day.
At least 45 minutes.
Is Pietro going to be in the whole thing? How's it going to end, Connor?
See, I've read conflicting things that apparently the character's dead, because basically Quicksilver's last line was, it's not your dead husband can die twice. She basically blasts him. Supposedly the blast, from what I've read, kills him, and where he gets blasted is conveniently he's on tombstones. I've watched it again today. He don't look dead to me, but from whatever trailer we've seen, like you say, you see Wanda changing reality once again, so it looks like 2010. It looks really modern. Maybe she'll again change the reality, and maybe she'll just get rid of Quicksilver. Maybe she don't want him around. Maybe she's like, he upset her with that comment, and maybe he don't want Quicksilver. Evan Peters supposedly isn't around for the whole series as well. That's another thing I've kind of read.
It's a shame. So
maybe he was just a one-off thing, and yeah, I don't know. I hope not. I hope he's in it all the way through.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We'll find out. At least
but,
part of it.
But who is the contact? Who is Monica's agent?
Do you think it's
we got to know that in the next one. I really want it to be, but not Mr. Fantastic. It's got to be just normal Reed Richards, and then maybe they all get affected by the rift, the hex, and then that's how you could then explain that his body randomly stretches and turns into Play-Doh. You could then use that as an origin. I don't know.
Possibly.
I don't know.
Or he's part of the astronauts that went
or Hank McCoy. All that. Yeah. Hank McCoy was another popular name. They keep teasing X-Men, so again, Hank McCoy is another good shout. Because in the comics as well, he's worked with S.W.O.R.D, and he's been like a scientific advisor and all this stuff. So I don't know, it would be more appropriate considering they're just teasing X-Men stuff. And again, we got more conversations regarding Mummy and Daddy. Daddy Magneto, please, just give me Magneto. Magneto.
We'll find out, because we have to wait, but it's really exciting. I can't wait, and only 3 more episodes left.
I can't sleep until I know.
Well, you're going to have to, because we've only got a couple of days, so it's alright. Because that's it for another episode of Nerd Bible Podcast. Thank you, Connor, for being along with me on this journey, as we always do each and every week. If you want to get in contact
throughout
with us,
time, space, and realities.
Yes.
Time, space, and realities.
If you want to get in contact with us throughout the multiverse, you can email us
at nerdbiblecontact@gmail.com/multiverse /multiverse.
And if you want to shoot us anything throughout the week, at Pasted Sheep across Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and the social media frame. It's been confusing, but a lot of fun. Get us some emails and stuff in, so we can all talk about WandaVision and hopefully watch the last episode all together. But we're just going to keep burning on these theories until something else happens, or until something else comes out and we stop talking about it. But it's not going to be for a while.
I will never stop talking about WandaVision. I'm sorry, this is easily the best show of the year. I'm going to watch all year.
I don't want to see it. I just love it. But I don't want it to end.
No, exactly. No. Make it one and done. You know what? Do sitcoms for really random. Get one about Howard the Duck and
Squirrel Girl.
Someone else really random. I don't know. Howard the Duck and someone else.
Howard and
just
Squirrel
do
Girl.
sitcoms. There you go.
But until then, thank you everyone as always, and we'll see you. Next week for whatever madness happens in episode 7.
Now, stay pasty.